Hello everyone, welcome in. This is the Coach KJ Carousel Dynasty. This week, Florida's taking on Arkansas at D.W. Reynolds Stadium. We're going to be taking on a familiar face today as quarterback Beau Pribula transferred to Arkansas following his season at Penn State with us as his offensive coordinator. He is slated to be the starter for Arkansas. That really isn't close. He's had a great start to his season so far with just 4 touchdowns and 1 interception, which is good considering how many interceptions he threw at the end of his season. As Kimber's taken off down the sideline and he gets us out to the 26-yard line. Garola is going to pull it on the first play of this game on offense. That's going to be a short gain. We're going to end up picking up 3 on it. It's second down. We're lining up in the pistol formation, and we go to Montrell Johnson, who gets the first down on a 9-yard carry. He's been pretty impressive so far. I really like the stable of running backs we have. Johnson with another carry here. He can't break that tackle, but he still picks up 5 on first down. Garola is going to pass it here on second down, and he finds a wide open Keeter at tight end. That is a pretty good play for our senior tight end, and Garola again going to pass it, but this time they sent pressure at him and he couldn't get the pass off in time. Luckily, that didn't end in a sack. Second and 10 now in the guns. Garola, he's looking to pass this once more, and he finds Harrison Wallace the third. That's a first down and a 14-yard pickup after he broke that tackle. And then we throw it again on the next play, and that's right there to Xavier Henderson, who breaks a tackle. He's stiff-arming a guy. Can he get into the end zone? They call him in. What a big touchdown by Xavier Henderson. That's a big play right there. He wanted that touchdown, and he fought hard for it. Let's welcome Beau Pribula back to the channel. He's trailing 7-0 in this one as Xavier Henderson put on a show on that last play. Pribula is going to open up this game by passing it, and that's a quick little completion underneath, but that doesn't go for any yards. Last week, he struggled a little bit as you've seen his stats when he was entering the game. He definitely could have played better. He put on more of a show week 1. We'll have to see if he can get comfortable here at Arkansas. I mean, he's a good player as he goes down for a sack right there. That is going to be a big sack on third down by Tyreek Sapp. And we're going to show a punt return, which tells you something's about to happen because we never show them due to the fact they're one of the most boring plays in all of football. Kimber gets that, and look at that cut. Look at the spin move by Kimber. Kimber might be able to go all the way if he can beat the punter. He steps back, but other people get to him, and then they throw a flag. So all that's for nothing. But that was a beautiful play by Jalen Kimber. You gotta love that. Too bad Jordan Young spoiled that by blocking in the back. It really could have been a huge play for us. So we open up with the ball, and Garola pulls it on the read option. He's gonna try to spin, but he ends up picking up 6. That's a solid first down play. So we go to Montrell Johnson on second down, and this time he only picks up a yard. They had some people right around him as soon as he got it. So on third down, it looks like we're gonna run a little sprint out pass, and there's Malik Mega wide open. If he could have stayed in bounds, that would have been a touchdown right there. But it's still a fresh set of downs, so we'll take it as Garola pulls it on the read option, and he fumbles the ball. Arkansas is gonna recover. That's Crook with the recovery right there. That's a huge mistake by our sophomore quarterback, Jack Garola. Now Pribula is going to pull it on a read option for himself and take that for 9 yards. That's where he's at his best, and that's what Arkansas needs to remember. He can throw the ball, but right now in his development, running is definitely a strong suit. I learned that over the course of last season with him. It's a big 3rd and 4, and Pribula is going to have to pass it, and he checks it down to Satenga, and he gets the first down. That's a 7-yard pickup. Arkansas keeps this drive alive. Pribula again is going to throw it, and he hits Wilson here, and that's going to bring him up to about another first down, and they do call it a first down for Arkansas. And Pribula again running play action, and he threw off his back foot. That's more on the interception. That's why you don't want to throw it with Pribula too often. You need to keep him in the game on the ground and kind of keep him under control. As I started throwing a little too much last season, I threw a lot of picks with him as well. 2nd and 3, Pribula is going to hand it to ETN, and he should have pulled it on that option play. We end up losing 6, setting up a 3rd and 9, which is a bad situation. He throws it, and Garola misses Henderson on the sideline, so we were going to have to punt it back to Arkansas. And Beau Pribula, he's going to tuck it and try to run. However, he goes down. That's Tyreek Sapp with a sack right there. 2nd down in the gun this time is Pribula, and he's going to hand it to Dubinion. He should have cut that up inside. He ends up losing a yard, making a bad read on that. Big 3rd down for Pribula, and he throws it short of the 6 to Stevens, but he has a crease, and he gets to the first down marker. However, they call a flag, and they call clipping on that. I didn't see it, but I'm sure it happened. We'll take it. That backs him up and makes him replay 3rd down. Let's see what Pribula can do, and this time he finds him baked short of the sticks, but he couldn't get the first down before stepping out of bounds. So Arkansas is going to punt it to Florida, and we don't show punts often, which means something good must have happened as Kimber gets the return, and look at this, he cuts it back. He had a crease, and he gets out to the 50, but you see that again, they call clipping on that. That's a second great return that's going to be called back. This time it's Ethan Pouncey who was guilty as we end the first quarter, leading this one 7-0 over Arkansas. We have a pretty good advantage, and overall, we should be able to beat them pretty easily, but they're giving us a tough tough test so far. We'll see what we can do as we go ahead in this one, as ETN gets a carry to open up the second quarter. He didn't go too far. On second down, we go right back to ETN, and this time he breaks a tackle. However, he only ends up picking up one, setting up a 3rd and 7 for the Gators as Garola's looking to throw it. He's standing in the pocket and throws it to Harrison Walls the third, but he couldn't hold on through coverage, so we're forced to punt the ball back to Arkansas, and hopefully we can stop him and keep our lead in this one. As Pribula runs for just one on second down now. Pribula looking to pass this, and I don't know what happened there. That was a pretty terrible throw. So 3rd and 9, he's going to have to pass it again, and this time he's just inaccurate. Arkansas goes 3 and out, and once again we're showing a punt, which means something good might happen. We're going to get this one right around midfield as Kimber has a nice return up the middle, and he's going to cross midfield, of course, and get us down to about the 38-yard line, and there is no flag. So this time it actually stands as Mega makes the reception from Jack Garola on first down, setting up a 2nd and 5, and we go to ETN, and he does not have the speed to pull away, and he only picks up 3. And that's going to set us up with a 3rd and 2 here, and it's a pretty big situation. We want to get a touchdown as we go right back to Montrell Johnson, who checked into the game, and that's a 1st down and more. He ends up picking up 14 on that play. So it's 1st and 10. Johnson remains in the game. We give him a carry on the counter, and he gets stuffed. He ends up losing 2. The edge stepped up for Arkansas there, and now Montrell Johnson getting his 3rd straight carry. He's going to take that for 7, so it's 3rd and 5, and we should probably pass this one, and Garola's going to find Mega. However, he's short of the sticks by a yard, so we're forced to settle for a field goal, which is okay. We extend our lead up to 10-0 in this one. Pribula takes over for Arkansas, and he hands the ball to Dubinion to open up this drive. That's another short pickup. Their ground game hasn't been working, so they go back to their drop back game, and Pribula does find him Bake, and that's going to be a pretty solid pickup of 8, setting up a 3rd and 1 that Dubinion easily picks up, and he has a crease. If he cut that back to the outside, he might have taken that to the house. I think he has bad ball carrier vision. Pribula looking to pass it here on first down, finds Satanga. That's going to be an 8-yard pickup. He's been okay through the air, not dynamic, but he hasn't really been too bad, minus that big dumb interception that he threw. Dubinion gets this carry, and that's going to be a 1st down as he moves the sticks and pushes Shamar James back to get that 1st down. Pribula is now going to pass it, and that was a terrible throw. He's lucky that didn't get intercepted by the Gators. So they go right back to the pass game. I don't know why they're not involving him in the QB run. However, that's an interception for Derek Wingo. There's a flag, but as you can see, that was clearly a face mask on Arkansas when they took him down. That's going to move us up even further. That's on their center, Cole Carson. So Garola and the Gators take over right around the 50-yard line, but Montrell Johnson couldn't hold on to that one. He drops it, bringing up a 2nd and 10 for the Gators. Garola's under center with 5 wide, looking to pass, and he got hit just as he released it. He barely got that pass off. So on 3rd down, they're forced to try to throw it to get this 1st down. Garola's on the move, though, to the right. There's nobody open, so he tucks and runs and gets the 1st down. He's out of bounds at about the 40-yard line after picking up 13. We're looking to pass it again as Garola finds Malik Mega down to about the 24-yard line. That's a 17-yard pickup, setting up another 1st and 10, and Montrell Johnson gets the carry up the middle. He's going to end up picking up 9 on that play. Garola in the gun, fires it. That's a touchdown to David Hester. Gators are going to extend their lead up to 17-0 after that play. Now it's up to Bo Pribula to try to answer, and on 1st down, he's going to pass it, and that one's wildly inaccurate. Arkansas trying to get points before halftime. Pribula looking to pass, and he goes down as we sent a corner blitz that got to him, and that ended up ending the first half. Gators are leading 17-0, and Arkansas's offense has been totally shut out in this one. Meanwhile, Coach KJ's offense has been on the move with 114 yards passing and another 80 on the ground. That's a fantastic start to the first half, and you got to give credit to Coach KJ and the offense, but I think the biggest credit has to go to the defense. Holding Bo Pribula and Arkansas's offense to just 68 yards is so impressive, and it just shows you how strong the Gators can be and just how much of an advantage we had coming into this one. As we are opening up the second half, Arkansas is going to have the ball as that goes out of the end zone. As we get recruiting news, I want to let you guys know this. It's going to be included in the halftime show coming up in the future episodes. As soon as we start getting some news, I'm not going to tell you where the player committed, but any player that does commit that I put on the board is going to end up getting a little part in this, and you're going to see their top 3 choices, and you guys can guess where they go and whether we got them or not. And then on National Signing Day or early signing day, we're going to do a little episode to do some early signing and some reveals, and then for the off season, I'm going to reveal the rest on signing day as well. I think it's just kind of a fog of war aspect that maybe could be fun, I like the idea. So we're going to try it out, and hopefully you guys do too. It just kind of creates some discussion and keeps a little bit of intrigue as we head into our National Signing Day episode that I'm going to do for, I guess technically it's early signing day, but we're going to do that episode, and I want you guys to have a little bit of intrigue as Arkansas finishes their first drive of the second half by punting it back to the Gators and giving us the ball back. I'll keep this drive going in the background as I finish up my discussion quick on recruiting. However, I have to do it after this news right here. QB Jack Garola goes down. He ended up getting hurt on this play, and he is done for the rest of the day, which means senior redshirt quarterback Kyle Engel has to check into the game, and we'll have to see how I do with Kyle Engel. He's not near as dynamic as Jack Garola. However, he has a little bit of ability to run the ball. He's like an 81 overall, so he's not that big of a drop off. I think we'll be okay. It's just totally different, and he's not our sophomore quarterback we're trying to build around. And then he ends up going down on the next play, and Tanner Bailey checks into the game. He gets his opportunity to lead the Gators here, and maybe he's gonna have to finish out this one. So the Gators offense is in shambles right now as Bailey takes a shot deep, and he completely misses our tight end on that one. Keeter was open. He should have been able to get that pass to him. Montrell Johnson gets the carry though, runs through a guy and ends up picking up 11 yards. And then Bailey throws it out there into the flats, and Thompson picks it off. And unless Harrison Wallace III can catch him, that's going to be a pick six by our third string quarterback. Hopefully we can get our starter back as Bailey and Harrison Wallace III couldn't catch up to him. That ends up being a touchdown for Arkansas, making this score 17-7 and letting them back into this game. However, Bailey goes back to the bench following that play as Kyle Engel returns, and he'll be able to finish out this one. As you can see, he's not near as dynamic on the ground, but he was able to pick up 17 yards on that play. And then he finds David Hester down the middle to make a tough reception and cross midfield down to the 40-yard line. What a big play for Kyle Engel and David Hester. Engel throws it deep in one-on-one coverage, and that should have been picked off. Harrison Wallace III was not open on that one. If Kyle Engel had a stronger arm, he might have been able to get that one over the top. However, he doesn't have a strong enough arm as ETN takes that for a 6-yard pickup, bringing up a 3rd and 4. We find Malik Mega, but we come up short. It's 4th and inches. We leave the offense out there though, and Engel pulls it and gets the first down for the Gators on a 3-yard pickup, showing that he has just enough juice in his legs to be able to help us on the ground as Engel's looking to pass it here. He's scrambling out to the right, and he throws it quick underneath. That's Keeter getting the pickup. That ends up being for 5 yards, setting up a 2nd and 5 as ETN gets the carry up the middle. He breaks a tackle and then gets hit. He only ends up picking up 2 on this play. So we decide to run play action on 3rd down off of Montrell Johnson, and we fit it in there. That is Kyle Engel getting it to Xavier Henderson, who never went down. That's a touchdown for the Gators. Who would have believed that? That did not look like it was possible, and I thought, honestly, there was no way that he wasn't down, but as you look at it, technically, according to the game, he never went down. It's weird, and in real life, there's no way they don't rule him down there, but we'll take it. That's a touchdown, extending our lead up to 24-7. Bo Pribula and this Razorbacks offense need to get going if they want to stay in this game, as the third quarter is winding down here. They need 3 scores in order to even tie this game up, so it's up to them to get going and get some points on the board to stay in it. However, Pribula hands it to Dominion, and he ends up picking up 7, setting up a 3rd and 5. Arkansas has to get this one to stay in it as he throws down the middle, and he does find Cole. That's a first down. He's down to the 42-yard line as they cross midfield, but that brings an end to the third quarter with the Razorbacks trailing the Gators by 3 scores. It's 24-7 in this one, and the only points the Razorbacks have came off of a turnover by our 3rd string quarterback, so they have a long way to go to get back into this one. As Pribula throws a screen out there to Dominion, he has a little bit of a crease though. He's going down the sideline, and he is down at about the 17 or 18-yard line. That's a huge pickup for the Razorbacks, and they go straight back to Dominion. He gets stuffed up and only ends up picking up 3 on this play. Pribula again looking for that screen, but this time he throws it towards the end zone. That didn't work. He's been struggling all day through the air, but this is his chance at redemption on a big 3rd and 7. Pribula, he just checks it down to Dominion, bringing up a 4th and 4 that forces the Razorbacks to have to go for it, and Pribula misfires. He had a man wide open, and he just completely missed him. They end up turning the ball back to the Gators there. What a huge mistake by Bo Pribula. He's showing the struggles he had at the end of his season at Penn State last year. Maybe that's just his warts coming through and just showing that he isn't quite ready to be a full-time starter, but he's all Arkansas has. He's their best quarterback by more than 25 overall points, so he's going to have to develop on the fly for them and hopefully get a little better, as it's 3rd and 2 for the Gators following that incompletion. We throw a quick screen out there to Harrison Wallace III, and he gets lit up, and we decide to punt the ball back to Bo Pribula in Arkansas. So I want to finish my recruiting talk real quick. So basically how it's going to work is I'm going to put the guys' information on there, and then we're going to have 3 hats on a table, and that'll tell you who his top 3 is. And then I'm going to give you some information about them, like you're going to get their overall, how many they went up or down by, and some key traits about them, so that way you can get a feel for who the player is. But there's still a bit of fog of war of how good of a player he actually is. Once we reveal where he commits on early signing day in that episode, I'm going to flip to another slide basically, and it's going to be, I don't want to call it a slideshow, but kind of like a slideshow. It's going to show off all of his information, all the scouting notes, stuff like that, his overall, where he committed. You'll see that hat show up, and then we'll be able to do our final discussion on him there. So I do really look forward to that. I think it's a fun way to do it. It just adds a bit of fog of war, creates some intrigue, and changes it up a little bit from a normal series. It's something I like to do. I want to be a little different. That's my goal. You can find all sorts of things on here where people just go through and show off when they commit and all that. I just want to be different and make things new and refreshing for people. As Pribula and Arkansas drove down the field, they find Cole. They end up going down at about the 1 yard line. That's a 7-yard pickup. Arkansas has put themselves in position to score. However, I'd say this game's over pretty much as Pribula gets into the end zone. It's going to be a 24-14 game following that, if they decide not to go for 2, which they didn't, and then they're forced to attempt the onside kick that we recover with Scooby Williams, and we get the ball. That's going to basically be it for this one, as Arkansas still has their 3 timeouts, but they need 2 scores, and Montrell Johnson gets a carry and gets a big first down right there. That will pretty much seal it. Arkansas didn't have to use a timeout though, which is weird. I don't know why they didn't, but Kyle Engel took that first carry for a loss of 3. That didn't work out, so we go to Montrell Johnson on 2nd down, and he gets a big pickup at 10 yards, setting up a big 3rd and 4 for the Gators. As they look to steal it, Engel's gonna pass it, and he finds Malik Mega, and that's a first down to the 20-yard line. This one's over. There's nothing Arkansas can do. Gators win it 24-14. It ended up being a closer game than I thought it would be. I think the injury to Jack Garola did affect this team, and hopefully he's back next week. We're not sure how severe his injury is. We'll check it out at the beginning of next episode, and I'll let you guys know. We're going to keep that a little bit in fog. I don't want you guys to know this week. I will say, though, I was pretty impressed with Kyle Engel. He played pretty well when he stepped into the lineup, so that's a good sign for the Gators that there's somebody able to step in if something happens. It's like with Penn State last year where Bo Pribula stepped up for us. On the ground, Montrell Johnson was a beast. He had 100 yards rushing. He averaged 7.1 yards per carry. That's awesome. Through the air, we had 2 touchdowns for Xavier Henderson, who ended up being your player of the game on just 3 catches. But when you score twice, that's a good day, especially when you only get 3 touchdowns. So we'll take that. Flipping it over to the defense, Wingo led us in tackles. Tyreek Sapp had 2 sacks, 1 for Pouncey and 1 for Kamari Wilson as well. We ended up with 2 picks, 1 by Devin Moore and 1 by our middle linebacker, Derek Wingo. We'll definitely take that. Now we're going to flip it over and look at Arkansas. Bo Pribula struggled today, honestly. He completed 68% of his passes, but he only threw for 144 yards. He had kind of like a lot of checkdowns, and then he had no touchdowns passing, and he ended up throwing 2 interceptions. Now on the ground, he rebounded a little bit and got into the end zone, but it just wasn't a good day, and it looked like the end of his season at Penn State, and his struggles seem to have continued and carried over to Arkansas. I really am rooting for the kid, though, and I hope he turns it around. He's one of my favorite players from my time at Penn State, just because he had to step in, and he did great when he stepped in for us, so you got to root for the kid. But it's up to him to turn his time around, because we're not at Arkansas with him. Now we're going to take a look at the Heisman standings, and as you can see, Travion Henderson still leads the way, followed by Trayshawn Ward, Donovan Edwards, Drew Aller of Penn State moved up to number 4, which is awesome, and then Connor Wegman of Texas A&M is at number 5. Now we're going to take a look at top 25, and as you can see, Georgia still leads the way, followed by Penn State, Ohio State, Florida State moves up to number 4, and TCU moves up to number 5, and then rounding out your top 10, you can see it's Oregon, USC, Alabama, Miami, and Notre Dame, and it was Washington who fell from 4 to 11 with their loss to UNC. That's a pretty big drop down for them, and UNC only ended up picking up 2 spots after beating a top 5 team, so that's kind of crazy and sad all at once. I thought about boosting them and going into the Dynasty editor, but I decided against it. I figured it's early in the season, I'll see what UNC can do, and if they do well, they'll get boosted later. Now we're going to look at our opponent for next week, and that's Tennessee. They're one of the closer opponents to our overall. We're still better than them, but they're closer to us in overall. Now, looking at just statistics, we dominate them. We should beat them easily if you look at that. I'm a little worried that their team's going to give us a little bit of struggle because they're closer in overall to us. We'll have to see, and it's a rivalry. No Gator fan likes the Vols, so gotta win. Go Gators. So let's get this W this week. This is LDJ11. I want to thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Drop any comments down below. Have a great day. I'm out.
sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it.